We're still on the second exercise. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go and inspect. We're just going to do a very quick inspection of all these pages, all the application related pages. Right? If I go to the overview, start your first scan in the scan page to view the application overview. Scans, scan your application for the first time. Issues, nothing. Scan your application to view issues. Inventory, empty, and we're also being warned that we need to scan our application, right? So the same thing keeps appearing over and over again. Scan your application, scan your application. So everything begins as soon as you perform your initial scan. And you would think, I would like to perform the initial scan. Yeah, we will, but in the next section, not this one, because there is a set of pages that we need to explain at this level. So let's begin with the environment. There's always a default environment. There is always a default environment. And the very first time you create an application, you always have access, or the default environment also gets created. But you do have the ability to create new environments. So if I select new environment, I'm getting back to the same exact wizard. The same exact wizard. And you do need different environments because you would like to follow the life cycle and the evolution of your application across different environments, development, QA, staging, and so on. I don't believe you would like to hook up active testing with production. But if you so choose to do because you know what you're doing, hey, be my guest. Okay, be my guest. We're not going to create a new environment. We're going to select cancel, right? It is within here that we have access to the secret manager. It is within this environment settings page that we can add additional sources. This is where we're going to get to add the flights API. It is within this page that we can introduce authentications. The only advanced option you have is, okay, what's the default test profile you would like to use? And it is no name test. Okay. Scheduling. This is where you go to schedule the execution of scans. Remember I told you you can execute scans I don't know, individually, interactively from the user interface. You can do it on a schedule, and you can execute scans from CI/CD. If you want to create a new schedule scan, there's a nice fat button at the middle of your screen. There's one at the top right, and so on. So we're going to create a schedule, and then we're going to delete it. Why? Because I do not want to have a scheduled execution of my scan while I'm teaching the course. Right? It may interfere with seeing things being created on the fly. So I'm going to select new schedule scan. Yes, I want to specify the no-name test. Which environment? Here's the very first indication that we have a default environment. How often do you want it? And it's on days, right? It's on a day. That's the level of granularity you have. I don't know. Every 7 days. Let's do it weekly. Every 7 days. Choose the time. Midnight. UTC. What are the more options? Proxy, concurrency, scan timeout. Same thing like before. And if you save this whole thing, after a few seconds, after, I don't know, in my case, half a second, now the table gets rendered. Okay? So that's it, pretty much. Again, I do not want to have this schedule stay here. I do not want to get additional scans to execute while I'm teaching the course or while you guys are going through a course. The less noise, the better when you're in training, when you're learning something new. So we're going to delete. Yes. Confirmation. Yes. Done. The business logic is very important. There's a set of tools that helps active testing to identify what type of APIs are we working with. Are they APIs that create data? Are they considered administrative APIs? What are they? This is done by this tagger at the bottom, right? Tags automatically specific APIs to identify their behavior. And when you tag, when you provide this level of metadata to active testing, well, active testing is going to be able to test your APIs in a more intelligent manner. Then you have the Depsler. Depsler is a dependency discovery tool. Dependency solver. So remember when I said earlier on you have the post flights that create flights and then the get flights by flight ID that actually consumes whatever is created by post? Well, that's a dependency. And you want to have a tool like that. The automatic resources discovery tool. This is a tool that gives you the ability to automatically identify resources that are exposed by your application. Imagine we have a spec and our spec is incomplete. We only specify the get, the post, and we don't specify anything else. Well, what if your application implements a patch method, the put method? Well, this tool is going to be able to identify all that. The response analyzer that is able to differentiate between successful and unsuccessful responses and provide you different feedback based upon the error messages it gets. So you're able to fix whatever you need to fix. You get to see an instance of that very soon. The reachability optimizer. Reachability is super important to us. You will see a good chunk of our time will be spent on establishing reachability between our APIs and the server. What does that mean? Reachability. Reachability is the process whereby active testing is able to send requests to their APIs and those requests are executed successfully. That's what reachability is. If active testing is not able to establish reachability between your APIs or the APIs that it discovers based upon our sources, the provided sources, then it's not able to scan those APIs for vulnerabilities. Active testing is a dynamic tool. It's not a DAST, because active testing does things intelligently. It doesn't brute force many. It doesn't brute force many of its tests. The tests that active testing executes are intelligent, and they're based upon the dependencies and the tags that it has associated every single API with. Always keep these check marks, keep these tools enabled. Keep these tools enabled, and there's more coming, right? Variant creator is going to come soon enough. False positive manager is going to come soon enough. Right? There's tons of work that is taking place. Right? Keep all of these turned on, unless you really know what you're doing. And some of these you have no choice, like the tagger, you have no choice. You cannot turn it on, turn it off. The response analyzer, you cannot turn it off. The rest you can turn off. But if you turn it off, then you're not going to get as much as you can from active testing. So do not turn them off. Keep them on. CI/CD we're going to explore later on. Permissions. Every single team will be listed right here. And again, in our case, we only have a single user in our active testing. We have a single team called admins, right? But every single team will be listed here, and every single one of these can be checked, and the permission can be changed from owner to viewer to read writer to editor, not read writer, editor, to none. So you have granular access at the application level for users that could span all across different teams. And with this, my good people, we have concluded the section of all the different application pages and the different pages under settings and what you can do with these settings. Section end.